The exclusive screening of Over the Bridge took place on September 1st at the Vitano Hotel, Lekki, Lagos. Directed by Tolu Ajayi, written and produced by Tosin Otudeko, and distributed by Nile Entertainment. The film will premiere in cinemas nationwide on September 5th. The film, set in corporate Lagos, tells the story of a man overseeing a major public infrastructure project that collapses, sparking a search for missing funds and personal redemption. Director Tolu Ajayi noted that after a global run across London, New York, Nairobi, Kigali, and 8 francophone countries, one of the key things I'm proud of is that it's a film every person relates to, and there's something they can take away.
Hello, hi, my name is Tolu Ajayi. I'm the film director for Over the Bridge feature film, and I'm on HIP TV. Over the Bridge comes together as a collaboration between myself and the executive producer, Tosin Otudeko, and it's set in the corporate world of Lagos, and it tells the story of a man who's working on a very big public infrastructure project that fails, and that creates a lot of problems. So the character spends the film trying to find missing funds and also along the way finding himself. And it stars Ozzy Agu, Segilola Ogidon, Auntie Joke Jacobs, Uncle Akin Lewis, Tony Oshinaike, Daniel Okolawon, how could I forget, and a host of others. I can't remember quite everyone right now. Yeah, but it's an amazing film. It's we're happy to have it back in Lagos after a very successful global tour. So Over the Bridge has had a very amazing run. It's we're very gratified by how rewarding the film has been. It premiered in London in 2023, has since opened festivals in New York. At the AMVCAs, it won 2 out of 12 nominations. Has screened in 8 francophone countries and 2 East African countries. That's Nairobi and Kigali. And finally, it's here. We've had an amazing run. I'm glad to see that the film is being widely appreciated as a Nigerian film and an African film. And one of the key things I'm specifically proud of is that it's a film every person relates to, and there's something they can take away. You have, especially our brothers in Afro diaspora, have widely connected to key characters in the film, and it's in its home. I expect there'll be much stronger connections.
For writer and producer Tosin Otudeko, Over the Bridge came from her interest in how choices in the corporate and political worlds affect society. I'm very interested in those dynamics and how decisions made in those worlds affect things on the wider scale, she said. She described the casting as competitive, but name-checked Ozzy Agu and Segilola Ogidon for their chemistry and performances. She praised the director for bringing out their strengths and showing the depth of Nollywood talent. On challenges, she mentioned the demands of budgets, scheduling and locations, but noted that Nile's support made distribution possible. She added that the 12 AMVCA nominations and 2 wins were deeply gratifying and proof of the team's hard work.
My name is Tosin Otudeko, and I'm the writer and producer of Over the Bridge. Well, today is our press and private screening for the film before it goes into cinemas nationwide with Now Distribution and Now Cinemas. Yes, so the story was inspired by my own journey one day across the bridge physically, and I started to imagine a man who crossed the bridge himself, but he was crossing for a different reason. He was almost crossing it in a physical but also like a spiritual way, basically, to find himself again. So the process involved me really looking into the backstory, like the background of this character and what he was dealing with. What were the circumstances surrounding his decision to pretty much escape his life and want to live another life somewhere else. So that's generally what inspired it. But I'm also generally drawn and inspired to stories which, again, formed part of the narrative of this film, to just stories about the corporate world. I'm very interested in those dynamics between the corporate world, the political world, and how those two meet, but also how the decisions made in those worlds affect things on a wider scale in our society. So all those things kind of all came together to tell the story. All formed part of my narrative journey into telling the story of Over the Bridge. First of all, our audition process was it was phenomenal. Everybody was good. Everybody that we auditioned really delivered the roles, the sides that we gave them. When we ended up with our decision for Ozzy and Segilola to be the two leads, the husband and wife couple, I think it came down to the dynamics between them, but also their intuitiveness when they were interpreting the sides during the audition. There was something very subtle about what they give, but it was also very powerful. And of course, the director, again, elevated that while he was working with them on set. And I just really believe what we saw on screen, it really proved that they are exceptionally talented, but not just that we have phenomenal talent in the country. And we just hope to see more and more talent being shown like that on screen.
Lead actor Ozzy Agu, who plays Folarin, said he was drawn to the psychological depth of the role. He described the film as a collaborative experience, highlighting director Tolu Ajayi's openness to actors' creative input.
Hello, my name is Ozzy Agu, and I play the lead character in the new film Over the Bridge. Comes out nationwide September 5th. So be sure to get your tickets. You're in for a good time, and keep watching HIP TV. Okay, bum bum bum. All right. What drew me to my role in this film? There it is. What drew me to my role in this film? I'd say, Over the Bridge is a psychological thriller, and it follows Folarin Marinho, who I play, and we get to see how this man of virtue and this man of integrity, who wants to do a lot of great things in his community, goes out to achieve these dreams. And then we follow the challenges and, of course, the inevitable obstacles that are in his way to success. And, of course, we also see the toll it takes on not just him, but his family, friends, and community as well.
On distribution, Group CEO of Nile Entertainment, Moses Babatope, said the film embodies the kind of storytelling that deserves to be experienced on the big screen. He pointed to its strong cinematography and global recognition as proof of its quality.
Hello everyone, my name is Moses Babatope. I'm Group CEO of Nile Media Entertainment Group. Nile decided to distribute Over the Bridge because it is the type of filmmaking that deserves to be on the cinema screen, that deserves to be experienced by lovers of film, lovers of art, lovers of storytelling. It's the type of film that Now Entertainment exists, to showcase. And this is a film that has traveled the world, across various film festivals and has been nominated and won significant awards. So it was important for us to showcase the best of our own, to an audience here that we believe exists. Probably not your comedy. We don't have to do your comedy fair or your romance fair. We needed to just show something different. And we're happy that we're able to work with Tosin, Tolu Ajayi, and the amazing stars to bring this film to cinema audiences.
GM of Nile Entertainment, Noe Kiri, Alex Shegunjo, added that the film expands audiences' horizons, noting when filmmakers make great titles like Over the Bridge, they have a home at Nile Entertainment.
Hi everyone. My name is Noe Isibo Shegojo, and I am the GM of Nile Entertainment. So what stood out to me particularly is that it's a really, really good story. It's a really great story. The actors were really method, and if you know Ozzy, you know the kind of films he likes to act. You know that he's very selective with the kind of roles that he likes to play and bring to life. So, he was just stellar in this as well. And obviously, this is also his first cinema release. The cinematography was really, really good, and obviously, it even won an award, Best Cinematography, in Afrif. So, those were some of the things that stood out to me. We are big on expanding the audience's horizon on the kind of titles that can be enjoyed in cinema. There is sort of like a narrative that, some films are festival films, But we're here to say that these festival films, because they are festival films, are, why they are so good and why they should be enjoyed in cinema. So, I mean that's why we want to make sure that there's some titles that get the amplification it deserves on the big screen.
Guest also praised the film. Zizi Ie Okune encouraged viewers to say quickly for the lessons it carries, while distribution strategist and impact producer Cassandra Ojugo Nwalu admired its storytelling, fantasy elements, and portrayal of Lagos. She added that its attention to mental health and family issues made it a significant watch.
Hi, my name is Zizi Ihe Okuneye, and I work in circular and sustainable fashion. The things that usually go unsaid are starting to get said. The pressures that a lot of us, not just the men, a lot of like the women and even children face. It feels like this is one. Project that will cause the discussions that need to be had to start getting had. So I'm quite happy with that.
Hello, everyone. I'm Cassandra Onwalu. I'm a distribution strategist, and I was also impact producer for Over the Bridge. I think for me, right, it's the nuanced storytelling. A lot of the films we watch are very in your face. If we're talking about marital issues, it's very, as we say in Nigeria, basbos. So to have something very nuanced and then also told from the man's mental health point of view, you don't really get that in a lot of films. And when you get that, it's always very, like I said, very, a lot of histrionics, very dramatic. This is very nuanced. You almost don't know that this guy is struggling because, everything looks good. He looks good on paper. He's attending, interviews. I'm not going to spoil it for you if you haven't watched it, but it's very nuanced. The second thing I liked about the film, a lot of people don't talk about it, is also the fact that there's a bit of genre bending in it. You do have some aspect of fantasy in the film. Again, I can't give away the plot because then I'll be spoiling it for you. But I liked how there's a fantasy, almost mystical element that was weaved into it, and that lent itself to very beautiful, very, like I said, very nuanced storytelling that you don't really get in a lot of Nollywood films.